We're good.
Yeah.
Oh, America.
I think we're challenged.
So we're celebrating today.
What are we celebrating?
Yeah.
Kathleen's release
Yes.
That's
of
right.
her video. Yeah.
Look at
Look at her now. Look at her now.
Look at me now.
Thank you guys. You're the greatest supporters of all
Mom,
time.
yeah.
I mean it.
Well,
You've been on the wild ride.
we are so proud and honored.
Yes.
Not only because of you, but because we were stars in it also.
You
That's
were
right.
absolute stars. In fact,
Steal the show.
HollyKem, who runs, to me is the star of WDSU here in New Orleans.
Exactly.
She
Of
sent
course.
me the video of them doing it, but then sent me a close-up of the two of you. Like, hey, they're the actual stars of this. And by the way, send this to all your friends.
So tonight, what we have, we have the janitor of Bonneville High School
yes,
with us.
we'll be interviewing you.
And we have the cafeteria lady,
Turned
hot mama.
Don't think a fishnet is not in style. Working. I have better moves than you, and I also can do so many other things than you. HollyKem Sunseri.
Our entire cast filled with moms.
Look,
That's it.
my
My
late at
favorite
night.
though, guys, was when I would see other people like on Facebook. Like I think I told you this, but like on my cousin who's also in the video, someone would write like, "I didn't see you, but I saw Dean and HollyKem. How do you know that?" Like you guys are stars.
You really steal the show. Even the editors, like, I love these guys.
Love the janitor.
Well, you know what my new line is.
What'd you
Look, it gets around 9:30, 9:45 at night. I start getting a little sleepy. Say, honey, can you go get the hairnet and some Jello?
That's right. It does wonders.
Get family counseling with Dean and HollyKem, and they'll give you a hairnet. Let's run a hairnet for free.
There's a link below for Amazon link for
In
all
marriage
hairnets.
counseling.
That's right. That's right. An affiliate link.
That's right.
That
Oh
is
my
really
God.
funny.
That's so good. Give us a little history of the song. Like, tell us what brought it about.
Well, I wrote about 4 songs with this really great team in LA, so I was trying to be all cool. And I went out there, and the songs just needed to be really just my stories and things that have sat with me or, whatever, all the things. But this seemed to be the most me because I wanted to do a song. So the song, my partner Jordan, he said, we need to make sure we have your comedy in the song a bit because that's who you are, there's comedy in your writing and blah, 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 blah. So I was like, well, I have this idea, but I have no clue how it would actually translate into a song. But I said, when I grew up like the fat and ugly kid. And so while all pretty girls just had to like sit there and say nothing, I had to like have a hobby, tap, speak another language, like just to get like an ounce of attention. It'd be like, Kathleen, do your song tonight for Christmas. And all my cute cousins were like, and I'd have to come out like my boa and 2 things. But then I said to Jordan, I was like, but you know what? It paid off to be the fat and ugly kid because now I'm an adult and I can hold a conversation. And here I am writing a song about being like, everything had purpose. And having to like have the personality or having to do the things, I'm so glad I have that now. And so we had this funny line. I was like, while the pretty girls just sat looking pretty, I was busy taking over this city. and that was what I was doing. And he just like, I got it. And here it's such a song for women. It's such a song, especially for mothers. I'm a mom of 4 now. So I really wanted just to bring my truest self to this. I think for years too, being an actor, people would be like, oh, you're now mom age. And I'd be like, oh God, don't say that. God, like don't deem me as a mom or whatever. Now I'm like, yeah, like let's just think about it. So that was this is a long story but
I also want to add too that you like, it's like becoming a mom or there's just stereotypes in society that's like, oh, now that you do this, you can't do that. And I really thought you leaned into just, being an actress, being a writer, being everything would be told that now that you're a mom, you can't you're not working. Oh, you chose to not work, or these things. And I just thought what you leaned into and you found with Jordan was really just facing the wall that's been kind of thrown on you that says that, hey, you can't do this. And you're like, all of us moms are doing the most incredible work at home, and you just went for it and just gave like an anthem to everyone who knows that it's not just being a mom. There's so much more that comes with it. And I just thought you leaned into that so well.
Thank you. Good point. I know when I became a mom, I know we all hear this and you're like, okay, everybody. But I was like, wow, women are amazing. I can do like 400 times more than like AI ever did before, or like all these other people. And I know every mother thinks that way. Like, wow, the amount I can get done, the amount of good work I can do, but also how present I can be as a mom and what my body can go through and how much, all the juggling and the balancing and the this and the that. So anyway, this is a song for those women.
Yeah, and I like how you held back there that women can do so much more than.
I wasn't going to go there, but
you didn't want to lose half the population.
Yeah, I hope there's some moms out there like.
Agree to that.
Did you
it's true.
That?
It's true. The song, the title, "Look at Me Now," right?
Yeah.
And so it's about looking at me now as compared to your history, but I think it has a deeper significance in the sense that you get to a place right now to be able to say, "Look at me now, and I'm fine with where I'm at and who I am." Yeah. And that's like, look at me now. You need to say that too, right?
Look at me now. That's right. Well, I think too is that as a woman, when you become a mother or at a certain age, like you're not allowed to be sexy anymore, and you have to wear mom clothes, and you have to do this, and you can only do that, and that's not true.
Right.
You have to be yourself,
Right.
And that's what I love about the song is that you get to be who you really are, and you get to take all where you've been and bring it to today and wear it, walk with it, and be confident in it.
Yeah.
Knowing that all that has come, like with children, with husbands, with marriage, with friendships, with moving, all those things. Yeah. It's like, look at me now, like where I've come from, what I've done, and I've put it all into one package. Hey, here I am.
Yeah. There's also the aspect of, well, sometimes I find that women struggle with where they are at this moment, right? Like the 25-year-old wants the 18-year-old body, but the 35-year-old wants the 22-year-old body, and the 50-year-old wants the and the
60-year-old wants the
I don't think that's just women. I think that's men too.
Well, that's men too.
Yeah.
But isn't it a wonderful place to be? I mean, you need to take care of yourself and eat healthy.
Yeah, you need to be healthy.
But there's a real liberation to be able to get to embracing where you are at your journey and to say, I'm 45 and this is what it looks like to be 45, and look at me now because I'm content with that.
Oh, by the way, I'm 39.
No, I didn't say you are.
I'm just kidding.
I'm 61.
But but I have to say that you guys are nailing this, because actually this is mainly for women to say this to themselves.
Yes.
As much as this song is really fun and like, hey, if you've got something now, that you want to say to me, look at me, I'm so proud. But it's really me talking to myself, and it's for women talking to themselves. We're our biggest people to ourselves that need to say, for me, I've got my big gut because I've had 4 children, or I'm almost 40 now, or whatever the things are. We actually are saying it to ourselves and celebrating. And I have to say, your point about look at me now, this is very important in making the video too, is that this isn't about, hey, I was once nothing, or I was once ugly and now I'm better. It's no, everything about my life has led to this moment. Look at me now. That is actually the whole thing. And when we were making the video, the vision was so clear. This is a dance, Janet Jackson, pop. I want these women to feel like we own the world. There's not like, hey, getting out of bed disheveled and then I put on my lip gloss and look at me now. No, it was like, No, I'm showing up in the minivan with the red lipstick already. Because I've done 75 things already, and it's 7:30 a.m. Like that was the whole vibe of the whole thing. And then the building of the dance was like, oh no, just don't worry, just get stronger and stronger. We just get better and better. So
Yeah.
yes, to your point, look at me
And
now.
that anthem also, I give my wife credit for that.
What?
That she really does live that anthem in the
Okay.
sense of
Mhm.
look at me now in the true sense of being okay with who she is and being okay in her skin. And I
Yeah.
think that that's something that we all need to aspire to grow into, right?
Yes, I do think that. Well, and I think too is that, we all have moments in our lives when we're not loving towards ourselves, with our
Yeah, absolutely.
self-talk, with looking in the mirror and not really owning our beauty,
Mhm.
and owning all of that. And I know that personally I've worked really hard at that and just really like, okay, this is who I am. Let's do it. I'm beautiful as is.
Yeah.
And it's a constant always work. So for me, the song is so good because that's exactly what, on all the work that I do with myself and with women, is that this is where we have to be on every day, no
Yeah.
matter what's happening. We have to be here. And that's what's beautiful about a woman to me, is that when she is owning who she is in her own skin, learning to really live in your own skin.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
Yeah.
good.
it's really
Very
good.
good. Gianna, the choreographer of the music video,
Yeah,
she
plug
did a
her.
little video. Yeah, she's amazing. She's in New York. She taught, so she did all the choreography and she sent videos to all of us women in New Orleans to learn through video. And
Right.
then, like a dance captain, I taught all the women the dance. And we set the formations. Thank you, Taggart High Dance Team, for teaching me how to do that, and then just kind of ran rehearsal and then ran everything on set to make sure the ladies were on it, and they killed it. They're so good. But Gianna's incredible, so she made this video to put up. We put it on TikTok, and you can duet it. So you can learn the choreography from that video and then duet it. So if you have a little groove in you right now, go for it. Because
Yeah,
I
Go for it.
today, like at 5, while we were feeding the kids and our other kids were, I don't know, watching a show and having dinner or whatever, I was like, here, let me just duet it real quick. And I love Theo in the back, like, what's my crazy mom doing?
Yeah.
So it was awesome.
you can actually
But
hear him if you
what's
listen carefully.
actually fun for me is I posted it and tagged all my old dance friends from like dance
Oh,
team
yeah.
and my dance. I'm like, they're all I'm like, come on, show me what you got. You know it's you. So I hope everyone duets it, learns it.
Let's take a look at it. It's
It's
so
so
good.
good.
See if I can.
So,
Look at me now. I'm a mom, got a good ass job, got it going on. When I get home, I kiss my husband with these extra pounds that he loves it. I'm not trying to get better in time. Come and look at me now. I put it all online. I don't wake up to get paid up. This is straight up what I'm made of. So if you got something that you wanna say to me now, baby, I'm so proud and I know my worth. And I make that work.
babies.
I know. So good.
So good.
I love that. I can't wait to see people doing it. I
I
think
know.
it's awesome.
I know. I can't wait. It's so fun. It's so freeing to dance and like just move that way, and it's fun.
Yeah, it's
Oh,
been
I
fun to watch people on TikTok use the sound, like the different moms, like showing
Yeah,
all the different places and just
just
putting
like
their stories out there. It's cool.
that's inspiring. People are using it like a reel, so they'll be like, "I'm a single mom of 3. Look at me. No one thought I could do this. Look at me now." Or they'd be like, when you're in college, thinking you were going one way, and it's like, "Look at me now." And they've got their like 3 kids. It's just so fun. It's like it's fun to see everyone take the song and put it to their life, because they're not everyone has my exact story, but they have something they can relate to.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so good.
And I guess as artists, I mean, our heart is in a bigger picture. We do what we feel called to do, but we also want to help people grow, to be transformed, to use the arts to do that, right? So tell us a little bit about how you see this video as an instrument.
Well, I think I've always been a diehard to bring freedom to people, or at least introduce them to how to get free.
Yeah.
And so I think the longer we're in, being artists in this career, as specific and transparent as we can be as people and tell our stories very specifically, you'd think as an artist, hey, I need to kind of, tell a general story that everybody can relate to. But actually, when you're really specific about your story, that's when more people go, hey, I get that too. I was there too, or I had this, or, it actually is that. So, if anything, this song, I hope it just brings freedom. I hope it brings confidence. I hope it brings just joy. I've had some friends text me and be like, I get my morning started with this. Because so often we wake up with the weight of the world on our shoulders, whatever our lives are, and we all have it. And so to just kind of take the thing that feels heavy and go, actually, this is a superpower. I'm gonna
Yeah.
I'm gonna just like, get groovy with it. Then I think that brings freedom and it brings a confidence that you can, lead your life differently.
Yeah. Yeah. Frank and I were talking earlier, or I think it was yesterday, and we were talking about how we have sort of deified or glorified science, and everything needs to be according to a statistic or according to a scientific study to become truth and to become something that imparts. And, for science is kind of a new phenomenon, 200-300 years old as it is now. But for thousands of years, the way truth, the way inspiration was passed on, the way people were touched and changed was through story. It's through telling stories. When you look at like the Bible, which is just one big story, and it's through that it imparts values, ideas, and I love what you said is that this is a story, a fun story, but it's imparting freedom. It's imparting the permission to embrace who you are today. It's imparting being able to let go of the heaviness of life, to celebrate, to dance. And those things get imparted without needing to say it because it's just an expression of
Right.
an authentic expression, right?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
I have to. Oh, sorry, Holly Kim.
Well, I was just going to say that, like what you said about your shirt, it's New Orleans, is that part of Louisiana and part of New Orleans is that we know how to celebrate. And when I think about Jesus, they always talk about festivals. He was always at a festival. He's always at a festival. And we're always having a festival in our city and in our state. So it's like, this is like a festival for women of, the battle scars of life, and really celebrating that as a woman, not as a lady, not as a, everything's got to be, in order, but it's real. It's the truth of, getting up and just being you, and who's got time to be in that perfection, whatever modality, but just being who you are. And with so much social media being, talk about putting every picture, I only put pictures that look good, only do it looks good. Well, we know that's not life. Life is messy. And that song is about being just real. And that's what I love about it. And any way that we can, in any way that we can love others through our truth allows them to love themselves better.
Yeah, that's so true. I
Yeah.
think something both you said hit me that, when you say science, I'm so clearly for science, as we all are, and even at the festival, but I don't think I've ever made a real change in my life unless I've actually felt something. Like, I think actually feeling and experiencing something actually changes your heart. I think that's why when you watch a movie, you have to feel something to actually think it's a good movie. There can be these wonderful movies, but at the end you're like, that was well made, but you didn't feel anything, so you're not going to go do something different because you saw the movie or whatever. And I feel when you say Jesus was at festivals and this is a celebration, he was there because people are feeling something. Mardi Gras is about experiencing. It's about feeling. It's, being together and, all the things it is. But, that's where community happens and change happens. And so I hope that, the feeling of things just I don't think that gets old, is what I'm saying. That will never go away. The storytelling to
Right.
aspect of things.
Yeah, I was just going to add to that. It's your experience becomes your story, which becomes your testimony. And I think even when you take all those into account, even as you say, like if I was going to look at something and go through something like, testing it, or you guys have taught a lot about true voice and your true voice coming out, and how to find your voice. And it's in the putting something together like an anthem that's like what you're saying, that as specific as I can tell my story, it becomes universal because no one can move on my testimony and my story. And the more we can encourage each other to tell each other stories, the more confidence that we get to move in that, and it becomes universal, and we all want to gather around that because it is our truth, because it really did happen to us, in that way. And so it moves you like viscerally. So that's what I think is so amazing about watching this, like from you guys experiencing it on the shoot and us watching it kind of grow and eat and affect each other's, telling stories of like how it affects you from just you writing your story, and then now getting to see it on TikTok where people get to put their stories on top of it and share that. It just becomes the truth of that, and that's what actually makes it fun, and to see someone get affected and be like, yeah, that's their story, that's their truth. And so that's, to me, like you asked from an artist perspective, I mean, that's the goal, that we get to share in that all together.
Yeah. And it's the place where it comes from, because if it comes from a more authentic and deeper place, then that's where it hits the other person from more authentic and deeper place. It's almost like a transference of, if what I'm saying is a real heady thing, then you're going to experience it from a real heady place. If what I'm saying comes from a real heartfelt place, then even though it's my story, it's going to be transferred to you at that level in that place. So I think that's really what a great artist understands is how to do that, to touch people through experiencing themselves first, and that gets communicated, and that mirrors the experience of the other person.
One of the things too is about being on the shoot, it was like seeing and you, especially Kathleen, you encouraging the women to, be expressive and dance and have fun and be themselves, and even to wear what was like themselves, to express that. But being on the being on the shoot and watching the women be so happy and so celebrated. They just wanted it to work. It was like, this is like, it was like, even when they would be getting ready, like, okay, how do I look, and in the back, they wanted, like they just wanted, they were so happy to be there. They were so happy to be a part of it. And then they took it serious. And when they were on film and, like being recorded, it was like their joy just jumped. And, I know you experienced it too. It was really powerful to watch because
they blew me
women
away.
Celebrating women,
Yes.
is not easy. Yes.
They blew me away. Yeah. I couldn't, I knew everyone like had a dance past, so could like put moves together, walk and chew gum at the same time, as they used to say. But like they were great.
It was like one rehearsal.
I was just like, wait, what? They learned on their own. They came in and they were good and they were joyful, like you said, and they've been great promoting it, and I think it's fun. I hope it's fun for them to share it with their friends and family and be like,
of course it is.
Video real quick. Yeah.
Well, it also brought out how incredibly talented you are. Incredibly talented. And so many levels.
Really good. Watching her write,
I know I'm prejudiced. But and I need to say, the leadership of both of y'all. I was just admiring how well y'all work together, how well you were working together with every different role that was there. And to me, I haven't been on many movie sets, but it just seemed to be a tremendous synergy happening that was very perceivable to me. And I was like, yeah, these are two really great leaders, Frank and Kathleen, they got the goods.
You're so awesome. Thank you.
Oh,
I want to give
thank
Frank
you.
props. So, if those who don't know, Frank and I produce everything together. So, Frank, if one of us is kind of more in the creative area, like performing, the other one really jumps in as like on the ground producer. So, Frank produced the whole thing. I mean, he's helping me produce. We're producing the content that goes out to advertise the video. All of the details. But when you're a producer, you're like, you're clearly setting up the team, but then you're also buying the coffee for everybody, and you're making sure that everyone's got their COVID test, but then you're also making sure that everyone's got their sequence and that everyone's happy. And
I'm really good
and
at crafty. I
yeah,
love snacks.
and let alone yeah, this most stressful moment of the entire shoot was figuring out which snacks Frank needed to buy at Costco
Yeah.
for the morning. I was like, you know what? Is this just something you could like Google? Because I'm just
You told me I don't want
in the
anybody
morning.
hungry. Good eating's good living. You
That's
gotta
right.
everybody
Frank
happy.
produced this whole thing, and like we wouldn't have a music video if he didn't do that. So
Oh,
Oh, but yes. And one of the things too is that to see couples not compete, because I know Dean and I, we don't compete, and I could see that you don't compete. You compliment and encourage and celebrate. And that makes for good marriage, good coupleship, but it also makes for other people to see what it looks like from the outside. That you know you want you're behind the scenes, but you want Kathleen to be the star and not compete with her. And a lot of couples don't know how to do that. Unfortunately, they don't understand that, or even a lot of families don't know how to do that, which is sad, because we go a lot further in our own walk and journey, and we go a lot further when we are the one that is propping the other one up.
yeah.
Because that's strength to be able to do that for one another. So it's refreshing to see, and
Well,
I love it.
I really appreciate that. I do think that it's, at the core, you say that about, it's love your neighbor as yourself, right? And we're talking about other people's stories. I think at the core of it, if you don't do it for yourself on any level, any level, you take any piece of advice, if you're not doing it for yourself, it's not working, right?
Right.
And I just think that, God teaches us this, and it's really actually hard to learn. But something that's really been on me is, and this is what Dean and I were talking about, is like, it really is about other people's stories. And so, yeah, I want to tell my story. Yeah, I want to do what I'm created to do. But if in a marriage, if I don't, it's about Kathleen, and it's about me believing in her dreams before my dreams. And it's not like, and a lot of times I think that doesn't happen because we think that means I don't get my dreams. But that's not what that means at all. And if we don't do it for others, so if you're not doing it in the core of for yourself and then for your marriage, like, yeah, it's all about lifting up Kathleen. But I have a trust and a faith, and I know, because we're in it together, she's doing the same thing for me every time I turn and pick anything up. And so if I didn't do that wholeheartedly, the minute I turn to go do it and need her, she's not there. I mean, so the you cancel yourself out, and it's just I really am just kind of been sitting on that more and more. Everything we do, we develop stories, we're constantly writing, we run a development house with our production company. It's like, man, it's just hit over my head time and again. It's about others, and it starts with us.
That's so good. I had a friend of mine call me today. His name's Ron. He's the worship leader. He was in Hawaii at the conference.
Yeah, in our group.
And so before Ron, we, for every speaker that goes up, we pray for them and get the microphones to them. And that was our role at the conference.
That was our role at the conference. I mean, what a great job, right?
And it was interesting. You go up to speak, and Ed likes you not to have your name tag on because it just doesn't look as good on camera. You got your conference name tag. So
here I am.
We were
we got a graphic for that.
But Ron and I, we had this conversation about performance versus doing it for the other, just like you're saying. I mean, in this case, doing it for the Lord. And so we went to pray for him, and it hit me. And I said, Ron, I need you to take off the name tag not for two reasons. One, because Ed wants you to take off at the name tag, and it doesn't look good on camera. But the second reason is that you got to forget about yourself and do it for the one.
Yeah.
And he called me today, and he said, that's the most freeing thing he's had in such a long time. Like, all his performance anxiety has disappeared.
Totally.
Wow.
And he said he was so free all the way through the conference. And it was really a grace, but it was an inspired word. But that image of what you're saying, Frank, I need to take off my name tag and do it for the other. And when I do it that way, all my anxiety disappears because I'm doing it from a place of love, and it's no longer about me.
Right.
You know, and then that's your most purest expression. So I think there's really something to that in whatever artistic expression we have, whether we're a worship leader or we're singing songs, that when I really realize, or even speaking, you know, we have our YouTube channel. When we forget it's not about us, but it's about who those we're trying to deliver this to, then it becomes an act of love.
Yeah.
And then all performance anxiety is gone.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's so good.
Right. I think that what about me and look at me now, it's like the what about me goes away, and the look at me now is all about the process to set others free, you know, because when you, that's it. It's like the whole focus is, you know, of course you want to be your best in anything you do.
Right.
But perfection kills. We all know that. And I think the saying that, you know, my thing is always perfection kills. And the thing that you say, Frank, is completion.
Peace and incomplete.
Yeah, peace and the incomplete.
We got to quote the man right.
We're quoting right, because I know he feels it all the time. But, you know.
That I forgot about.
He still so, but he does give you credit. But in that, it's like, how do you become peaceful when it's not perfect?
Yeah.
You know, and really just being free enough to know that none of us are perfect. And what's beautiful is the freedom when you're not just doing it, you know, doing your very best and letting it be that.
Yeah.
And
that's so good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So well, it's been so good. Any closing thoughts that either of y'all have? Because I have one thing for us to do.
It's just a big thank you to you guys. You guys have been like very intentionally supportive and just family to us. You know, you've been praying for this video. You've been praying for us. You were in the video. You made a huge impact on the people when we were there. You know, they were like, HollyKem, you know, the whole thing about the rain. Remember the rain? Raining on this outdoor like car shots.
Yeah.
And they were like, "Did you know that HollyKem actually prayed and the rain stopped?"
It was great. I mean, it literally was
so into
there's
it.
only
I was like,
one
yes,
outdoor shot.
I do know that actually.
And it's torrential downpour to the point that like lightning to where the director's like making fun of us because I like paused the DP. I'm like, hey, maybe you get the lightning. He's like, that rain is coming for us. And HollyKem, like everybody's on walkie, the whole place, and HollyKem decides, you know what? Oh no, we have faith for the weather. We're gonna pray for that rain's not gonna top, not one drop's gonna drop while we're sitting here shooting. And wouldn't you know it, every car pulls into the garage at lunchtime, like an hour late, and just the heavens open and all our shots. They're like, HollyKem, the minute we pulled into that garage, all the rain came. It held because of her.
No,
She's a powerhouse.
The whole team said that. That was like the debrief.
Yeah.
They were like, as if it was like just, ooh.
Yeah. Producers, the DP, everybody.
It was awesome.
Like, what?
We really did make an impact, and we just don't take it lightly.
Yeah, you did.
We really do
Yeah.
take it all in.
well, you know, with the
You know, Ed wants to have a cameo in the next video.
oh yeah,
I know, I love it.
Antonio Banderas.
He wants to be Antonio Banderas.
We should just do. I just see a slow mo shot with their hair blowing in the wind, and Ruth. Just, we could do their next promo video for Transform the World.
I think we should
We could.
get him.
We should plug the next song or music video is probably going to be, because you can check out Kathleen's songs. I'll be the plug, and she has an EP out, 4 tracks, and the next one that we're looking at eyeing is Sinner, which you should definitely listen to.
Got an idea for a music video for Sinner.
And it should be a lot of fun.
A lot of people like that.
yeah.
Seems to be the second. That and Look at Me Now seem to be the songs people.
So if
jump
they want to get the music, how do they get it? Like iTunes?
well, I'm on all streaming, so Spotify.
Well,
Apple.
Spotify. You know what Spotify
Yeah,
is.
I've learned. We have a really
I
good
know.
office manager who runs my Spotify. No
Her
joke.
producer made fun of her. She said, he was like, wait, you don't have a Spotify account? How are you going to
He's
listen to
like,
your music?
Pull up your Spotify, and I want to just have. He was referring to a song we were working on music, and I was like, can I just Google it? You don't have a Spotify? I was like, look, dude.
She's
I
like,
got
you're
a
going
lot
to
of
send me a
kids.
link. I'm going to be on
I
Safari.
don't know.
I do not have it either.
All streaming, but you can go to my website, KathleenMonteleone.com, and everything's there. You know, the video,
Everything's
how to listen
there.
to music, how to watch our movie.
Yes, American
Plug in-
Reject.
Plug in the plugs right now.
So once we stop this video,
Yeah.
you need to go to KathleenMonteleone.com
Yes.
and
Yes,
check it all out.
that's the one. Click on all the
That's the one.
clickies and get all the goodies. And boopy doopy
All the
doopy doopy
clickies.
dobby doopy dees.
All the scrolling.
So I do have one thing for us to do before
What?
we stop. There was one line in the song when you
Trivia night.
said,
Which one?
kiss your husband.
Oh, yes.
So on 3, that's how
Oh.
we're going to end the video.
Oh,
No tongue.
rules.
And I haven't flossed in like 2 days. Sorry about it. Have I
One,
today?
Yeah, let's just count it.
two,
You have to,
2, 3.
Fat and ugly had its perks for show. They used to say I looked like best in show, 'cause I had my weight up. I'm like, wait up, but don't sleep on these A cups. It was a dead zone in those friend zones. I was never taken to the end zone. While the pretty girl